Hello, Jeremy from Rhodes-Wood in Harrogate, though we're in my study at home, and we get asked a lot of questions on social media. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to introduce you to my study at home and to answer as many of the questions as we can. Oh gosh, that's a really good question. Many years ago in the shop we used to make suits for a gentleman who, I think he was the keeper of the Queen's time, lovely, interesting chap. And I remember him telling me that he was up to interview some potential apprentice horologists. And he said to me, you know, I'm disappointed not one of them picked up on my watch. And I said, oh, why? What have he got on? And he showed me his watch. And it was a George Daniels. I have to confess, at that time, it's 20 years ago, I think, I'd never heard of George Daniels. But I read about him and he told me some information. I believe he made 38 watches in his lifetime. And at the height of the quartz boom, you know, the battery-operated watch, which I've got to say are super accurate. I have a quartz Mickey Mouse watch, and I either set my manual watches, I spent the time by this quartz Mickey Mouse, or by my phone. He invented at the time of the quartz boom the coaxial movement. Don't ask me what one of those is, but he invented it, and Omega bought it, and he, to celebrate that of the 35th anniversary, he, with his apprentice, or then apprentice, Roger Smith, did this watch, the 35th anniversary George Daniels anniversary watch, which they made 100 pieces of. I believe at the time they were £100,000, and the last one I saw, I think, was just under £1 million. Well out of my budget, but this is a fantasy question. What would you like to own? A 35th anniversary George Daniels watch. Very similar in appearance to a Breguet pocket watch. And there is a Breguet wristwatch, I forget the reference number, that also looks like a pocket watch with the offset chapter rings. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, if I win the lottery and I can find one, why not? But happy with what I've got, and I think that's one of the key tricks in life, is be happy with what you have. I enjoy my Mickey Mouse quartz, and I enjoy, you know, the odd lovely Swiss or German watch that I have too. Cigars like champagne are another thing. It's all very well saying, you know, my favourite cigars are Cohiba Esplendido. One, they're a lot of money, and two, I don't always have an hour and 10 minutes to enjoy one. So often I have a 15-20 minute window, then I'll smoke a short Churchill, something like that. You know, smoke anything you want, and you've got the time, Cohiba Esplendido. So I started Rhodes-Wood as an own label brand. In those days we were 100% own label. I just finished working for a factory where I helped design men's and ladies range. Now I say the word design, style it, see it from the ground up, visualize it, and you put it into a range. I didn't cut patterns. We had, you know, technical designers that you'd say, okay, I want a hacking jacket, 3-button, slant pockets, whatever. He would do that, a pair of joppers, whatever it was. But styled it and put it together, yes, I did. And I learned so much about manufacture, garment specifications, sourcing, that I thought, yeah, when I left, I got the opportunity to open that we would do 100% own label brand that no one had ever heard of. So it was always aimed at a confident man who didn't need to buy something with a label on to be a status symbol. He bought it because it was good quality, stood the test of time, and he was confident in his own skin. And 29 years later, we're doing the same. We've introduced a couple of brands like Incotex, but the shoes are branded by Crockett and Jones, etc. But we probably will go back to being 100% own label because I can control it. Yes, I've already written one. I wrote one 12 years ago. Took some time off work, very short time, and wrote the bones of it. My wife said it's more of a pamphlet than a book, but it is there. I won't tell you the title, and I have vowed to myself this year, get the damn thing, do a rewrite, get it finished. I think one of the things holding me back is I wanted it to be a coffee table book with lots of lovely pictures, and there are lots of lovely pictures, but the quality isn't high enough to put in a book. But yes, it is written from when I am 3 years old, growing up, my first memory of clothes, my fascination with shops. It's quite, a proper view right from being a young boy, and the things that I remember. Couldn't stand itchy jumpers or itchy trousers. It's all in there. Some of the heartaches and the pain. I started a business very young, lost it at 29, had 6 years in the wilderness. So it's all in there, and I hope I will get that done. And there are quite a few people on social media said, I could listen to you read the telephone book. Maybe they just want me to get them to sleep, I don't know, but we may even do an audio version as well. Staying in business, I would say. There has been ups and downs over the years, and the high street is changing. I think it's becoming more and more niche, and I think part of our reason for longevity is that we are a niche business. As the cake has got smaller, our slice has got bigger, because there are fewer shops like ourselves, certainly outside London. So wonderful now that 2 of my sons have joined us, and I'm a big believer that, the young learn from the older guys, and the older guys should learn from the young. And it's a learning curve for me with website and some of the technology. We have, a really good relationship, and whilst they're my sons and I'm their dad and I'm also the boss, I suppose, they're also my best friends. So we do enjoy work and the bits around work, and I really hope. I'm fortunate that I have 2 boys in the business that they will continue with it, and they've already brought something to the table. Our social media has been a game changer, and whilst we've tried websites before, you need an awful lot of money to throw at SEO to get any traction. Social media is levels the playing field, and it certainly has with us. So our 4th website it's another business. It's wonderful. I hear, sales in the middle of the night, and we get questions at all hours. If I'm awake, I answer them. It's another business. So very exciting. I've no plans to take over the world, but I'd love for the boys to continue. No pressure on them, but I hope that Charles and Freddie will take it forward. And the high street, as I said before, it's more experiential, but it is essential. You can't have your nails done if you're a lady online. You can't go out for a glass of wine online. You can't have your hair cut. So we need shops. I want to go and pick up the tomato or the onion or the apples and look at them. I love food, and buy the ones that I want, not someone pick them for me and put them in a box and send them on a van. I still like to go shopping. Probably why I have a shop, because I was always fascinated with it. But yeah, I hope the boys will continue, and who knows, the hopes and the thing is to stay in business and to try and keep doing it well and improve to do it better. Well, funny enough, I remember when I worked for this department store and I was 16 years old. They got some kind of psychologist guy in to interview us all the new intake, and they said, "What would you really like to be?" And I answered a pop star, and he wrote that down and kind of frowned. I did play in a band, but we were only a front room band. Realistically, what would I like to have been? I would love to be able to be a joiner, a cabinet maker, to make something out of wood. Would be fascinating. I'm absolutely useless. I am known as the Frank Spencer of DIY, and failing that, a sign writer, not sticking vinyl signs on windows, but painting signs. I just love to watch someone painting a sign. I find it very therapeutic, and if I wasn't so shy, I would have liked to have been an actor. There's a place for both. I mean, we always used to advise if you were wearing a suit in city, legal, whatever, side adjusters with or without braces or suspenders, as they call them in the States. I tend to favour belts as I've got older, but I've just gone through another phase now. I've had 3 pairs of trousers that we're making, all with self-supporting waistbands. I do like to see it. If you carry a bit of a tummy, you're going to struggle if you haven't got braces on, because the minute you breathe in, the trousers will fall at the front and you'll get like this front nappy effect, which isn't attractive. So you would be better wearing them a little bit bigger and wearing them with braces, but why not both? Never at the same time, not belt and braces, but have a selection of both and go with what you prefer. Very, very formal things, I'd say, yeah, lose the belt and do self-supported. So the first suit, and I think we did cover this in building a wardrobe, but that wasn't building a wardrobe from IKEA and how to put the nuts and bolts in. It was building your formal wardrobe. Without doubt, plain navy blue suit. It will take you anywhere. If you finished a thing at the office and you have to go out for dinner with your wife or business, whatever, it cuts the mustard, it blends in. You're not sat there in a great big chalk stripe or which can look very officey and very corporate. Plain navy suit, it's not going to offend anyone. If you carry a little bit of weight like me, it's a very slimming thing. So first suit, without doubt, plain navy blue. So what's my favourite champagne? It's more the style of champagne and the way of drinking it that I'm particular about. I don't like or care for vintage champagne, the really expensive champagne that's perhaps stills in the bottle and becomes more complex. It gets too much like wine. I love drinking it from a proper champagne flute with a belly at the bottom and where the glass tapers up, or a coupe. I can't stand this new thing of drinking it in a wine glass. I don't get it. I think it's only my opinion, and I'm a menswear guy, not a wine merchant. But I've been in a couple of really expensive places, ordered a glass of champagne, comes in a wine glass, it just goes flat. And I know all the wine buffs want to sniff it and talk, great. I want to drink it and enjoy it, fresh, fizzy and young. Can't go wrong with Paul Roger, can't go wrong with Pommery, but you can keep the vintage champagne for me. And I do drink it probably over chilled, and I really enjoy it. So I was born in Huddersfield in West Yorkshire, and I lived there, I think until I was 32-ish. Moved to Harrogate and opened Rhodes-Wood. My mother worked for Scabal, which is the world's largest cloth merchant, and the managing director there was also the chairman of Huddersfield Town Football Club. So I spent my Saturday afternoons at home games choosing what I was going to wear from my small wardrobe. I wasn't that interested in football, although I did play in goals for school and I played in goals at water polo. I was much better with my hands than my feet with ball sports. But yeah, grew up in Huddersfield, went to school there, to Celandine Nook, Didn't go to a public school, like many people think I did. Ordinary, comprehensive school education. Went to work after that for a privately owned department store in Huddersfield called Kay's, and then to a wonderful shop called David Cressy Hall's, where most people who worked there had been away to school. They were very much sticklers for manners and speech, and I used to get pulled up regularly, and I think they kind of moulded me into shape. But yeah, Huddersfield. At school, sport was compulsory. I did play football, didn't like it, wasn't for me, but I did play in goals, and I wasn't a bad goalkeeper. I also played water polo, swam for the school. My favourite ball sport, and the only one I was really ever good at, and strange enough, like being a goalkeeper, I was better with my hands. I was useless with my feet. My brother was a really good footballer, and my uncle was a professional footballer. I didn't get that gene with my feet, but I could play ball sports with my hands. So my favourite one was volleyball. I captained the school team when I was in the fourth year, and that was a great sport. I suppose my love and the thing that I continued off and on from being 8 were martial arts. So I did judo when I was 8, karate when I was 11, and I've only, I suppose, the last 10 years sort of retired from that. Did Wing Chun, Eskrima. I did a little bit of boxing with my trainer, and that's a hard game, and I like my face, thank you very much, the way it looks. Yeah, it was a hard game, was that one. Great training. Didn't go in the ring, too old. But yeah, martial arts. And then also I've fished since I was, again, 11. I don't get to go as often. I don't eat fish, so I'll only take it if somebody wants to eat it. I love fly fishing, and I suppose you can use barbless hooks and return. And I'm hoping this year to get to Yorkshire's only chalk stream and have a go there. I live now by the sea, so maybe we're going to look at sea fishing. Given up shooting. I did enjoy it. I had 20 years game shooting, but I don't want to do it anymore. And I need to do something else because it's a constant battle to keep a reasonable weight. I mean, the first thing is diet, isn't it? 80% diet, 20% exercise, but I think I can ramp up the exercise a little bit more. Whew. How to get rid of a load of money. The car that I played with as a kid, in fact, I didn't have one, I had 2 or 3 because I was always breaking them to see how they worked and things like that, was the James Bond Aston Martin with the ejector seat. I don't know if it was a DB4 or a DB5. Yeah, that's what I'd have. I mean, okay, not a daily driver, but if I could have any car, that was my childhood dream. Saw one in New York, actually, I can't remember the scale of the model, but it was drivable and just absolutely beautiful. We have a customer who restores them, and yeah, I've seen some amazing ones. Can't afford one, but that's what I would have, the kind of the James Bond DB45 Aston Martin. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope I haven't bored you. It's just a little insight into kind of a backstory and a change of scenery from home in my study. And hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.